There was no fire. What saved so many lives, I think, today is the fact that there were no fire immediately. There was smoke coming out of the ground of the airplane, of course, but there was no fire, at least in my section. I couldn't see any fire. It started to happen, and then I left the plane. Then later on, starting to hear see fire a lot more, smoke coming out, explosion coming out. At this point, I felt like most of the people were out of the plane, at least from the two sections I saw, which were the back of the plane, and so that from the behind the wings to the tail, pretty much everybody was out by the time I got out, and from the front of the wings to the first exit to the left, same thing, pretty much everybody was out. So in my head, most people made it out, which I thought was a miracle, but now I understand there might be more people missing.
Was it chaos inside when this was all happening?
It was chaos, a lot of, first of all, there was a lot of Koreans that might not even speak English that well, but yes, it was disbelief, screaming, a bit of chaos, but I think we managed to get everybody to calm down pretty quickly and really start getting out and not pushing each other, not stepping on each other, and so it felt like it went really fast.
How quickly and efficiently did that seem to happen?
Were they giving you instructions on what to do, how to exit?
The crew was overwhelmed. The crew was not expected at all, so they were trying to, they were the one that were able were helping, the one that were injured were not, and we had to help each other out basically. And
so were you buckled in? Like, was your body thrown around as this was happening, or do you even remember those moments?
It's like a Six Flags show, right? You're tied up to your chair, and then again we're skipping on the runway, and I felt like we were going back up. I thought maybe we'd go back up and start flying again, trying to improvise another landing, but we went back down again. So it was, as I say, it felt like slow motion. I was still tied to my chair until I unbuckled, but our chair, the whole row was completely crushed on the chairs behind.
Did you tell us a little about your injuries?
I thought I had broken ribs. They took me to the hospital. We did x-rays, and I have nothing broken, luckily, and they were checking for internal bleeding with a CT scan. And so far, they let me out thinking I'm okay. I'm hurting because cartilage is bruised, so it's going to hurt for several months probably, but again, I'm very, very fortunate.
Did you think you were going to make it out alive?
Somehow, I had a car accident when I was 20 years old, and I had a similar feeling, like everything in slow motion, but somehow I'm going to be okay. Honestly, I was waiting for the plane to either stop flipping upside down, in which case I think a lot of people would have not made it. But somehow the plane stayed on the belly, so.
Did you see a lot of the other injured people? And how did they appear?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your beginning, but I heard her question, so I'll answer this one.
Yeah, you said you saw the piers and you knew that you were coming in too low. Could you describe what you saw? Yeah,
I fly often. I'm a windsurfer. I always like to look at the water, and if you know San Francisco Airport, there's a few piers that are extending out of the runway into the water, and I realized quickly we're like, I don't know, it felt like 2 or 3 meters above, so maybe 10 feet above the water, and we're not even on the runway. I don't see any runway, I just see water. So I'm realizing we're way too low, but I'm just like, he's gonna make it. He knows what he's doing, right? And that wasn't the case. Somehow we hit the tarmac.
Did you see some of the other injured people, and how did they appear?
Yes, well, the person next to me had heavy bleeding on the head, but he was conscious. Another gentleman seemed to be pretty scared, older, but he was not too hurt. When you look at him, at least, most of the injuries seem to be leg cut, bruises, some bleeding, but there was nothing too traumatic. I was in the ambulance with 2 people that had obviously spine injuries. I think a lot of people have broken ribs, bruised ribs, spine injuries. Maybe some people, hopefully can walk again. Some broken bones. I understand there's a few casualties as well.
How are you feeling now?
I'm feeling extremely lucky. I just don't even know the extent of, as I say, I felt pretty much everybody made it out alive. I don't know the stats, so I can't tell. Again, lucky, fortunate. My prayers and my thought was go with the people that are in the hospital or their families. It's a tragedy. I don't think, nothing could have prevented.
Then with the 2 people who died, is it your thought that they may have been in the back end of the plane or possibly flying the plane?
I haven't seen any video yet. I understand that apparently the tail of the plane got ejected. I think it's probably the result of the plane starting to reaccelerate when it saw that we were not going to make it and probably hit the runway. I don't know if it hit first or not. When I remember going through the back, helping people and seeing the firefighter coming through the back, I couldn't tell the tail was gone.
Did you get any warning that the landing wasn't going to go well?
No. It was just, it happened in a flash. No idea. Nobody was worried about anything.
Does anyone use cell phone when it's landing?
As you know, you're not supposed to. So I imagine you will see a lot of shots because people were holding their phones in their hands, probably in expectation to start turning them on. I certainly did. Quickly put some pictures and told people I was okay.
Were you ever someone who was afraid of flying, and how about now?
I'm not afraid of flying. I won't be afraid of flying. I think these are extremely rare. I take more risk every day driving. Again, very fortunate I'm alive today to talk about it, and I hope many more are as well. But I'll take the airplane again. It's like I don't know what you can do against those things.
Ben, can you spell your last name?
So my name is Benjamin Levy, L-E-V-Y.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from France. I've been 16 years in Silicon Valley. I'm a partner. I'm a venture firm called Bootstrap Lab.
And where do you live?
I live in San Francisco.
Were you coming home from?
39 years old.
Were you
in Korea on a vacation?
I was for business in Korea for 10 days and then in Malaysia for another 10 days. We are running an accelerator over there, so helping tech entrepreneurs, and I was on my way home.
And you said you have children, right?
Yes, 5 and 3 years old, 2 boys, and I don't think they know anything that happened today. I'm not sure I will tell them.
And your wife, you said, was with you, but she came back early?
She came back early, and
How
she's
many
here.
days early?
She came back 5 days early.
And
For those
have you
of us
talked
who
to
got
her?
here late, could you just say how it started?
Yes.
How? I'm sorry?
What was the,
What was the first indication of trouble?
There was no indication. We just hit the runway and went into a crash. There was no indication whatsoever.
except that it was flying low?
No, we stayed on Levy, which I think saved a lot of people. So
It was described as a cartwheel, that the plane did a cartwheel. Does that,
no, the
how
plane.
did it seem to you?
It sounded like we about to land. The nose of the plane, as you know, goes up a little bit, and then we full throttles start hitting hard, and then we felt like we were going up again. So that's why I say I felt like we were got to. Maybe the guy is able to pull one of those almost missed landing and go back up, and it didn't happen. We just crashed back. So as I said, if we flipped, none of us would be here to talk about it.
We saw a lot of smoke, but was there a lot of smoke in the cabin?
There was some smoke, not too much. As I said, the fire started afterward. So I think that's why most of us made it alive.
Some people have said that it felt very low to the ground. Is that something that you felt?
Well, we obviously missed the runway, so we were too low too soon.
You think the pilot just was flying too low, or something wrong with the plane?
It didn't seem anything wrong with the plane. People asked about the speed of the plane and if we went down, but nothing seemed too unusual, honestly. So I'm going to be going. Sorry?
What was your row number?
I was sitting on seat 30K, which is by the window, just behind the wing. No one in front of us, so that also probably protected me. The fact that no seats got crushed into me. So again, very lucky.